Today I wanted to talk about the chemistry behind cooking an egg. I wanted to preface this discussion by saying that many of us don't really consider something as mundane as frying an egg as something to do with a chemical reaction, but I'm here to tell you that a chemical reaction can be defined as a change of material into another new material with different properties. Examples of this include the gold catalysis lab, esterification, and of course are the background reason for why a raw egg can turn into a delicious fried egg. Egg protein changes when you cook it. The protein in the yolk and the white albumin are made of long chain amino acids, and they're folded into twisted tertiary structures, 3D tertiary structures. And when heated, these proteins in the egg start to denature. The weakly held hydrogen bonds in those secondary structures start to break down, and as well, the side chain interactions also break down, as evident by the hydrophobic amino acids trying to fold inwards to escape the liquid water content of the surrounding white egg. Um, uh, and any water for that matter. They reform as a new and different protein structure, and we can see this directly when we look at the white that results from it. The egg denatures when heat is applied and changes the structure of the egg permanently. That's a clear chemical change, and it turns into a fried egg. It will never return into its previous raw egg state, not even if you put it back into the shell. So yeah, that's it. So I'm gonna walk us all through the experiment that we did today, and it should take maybe no more than 6 minutes, and then we'll see how it goes. I'll run through the procedure, and then show you the final product as well. Okay, so to begin the experiment, you're gonna need a couple materials. First of all, your primary reagents, you need 2 eggs. One to 2 eggs, depending on how you feel. Black pepper and salt are sort of like an optional thing. And then we're also going to need oil of some kind. It could be cooking oil, virgin olive oil, any kind of oil. And then lastly, we're going to need a transfer plate for when the product is finally finished. And then we will set it there. So to begin the experiment, we're going to select one of these eggs, and we're going to crack it on the side of the pan as to ensure that all the contents will spill out onto the pan. I usually just hit it to the side and open it up, and then you let it sit there, right? Then you move on, get the next one, set the disposed contents to the side, and then you get the next egg, let that one sit as well. And then next we're going to turn up the heat on the stove so that we can get ready to cook these eggs. And you turn the gas on first, make sure it lights up, and then you turn it down to medium temperature, medium to high really, so that the gas doesn't burn the thing. And then I'm gonna introduce a little bit of oil for no particular reason aside from just like make sure that the eggs don't stick to the pan when we're ready to go and get them cooking. I didn't mention it before, but you need a spatula. So I will retrieve a spatula from the shelf. I cut the video with you. Okay, so as you can see, it's been about 30 seconds. You can see that the clear albumin is starting to turn a little white color. We're gonna scoop the contents in a little bit, keep everything nice and tucked in because we want to seal the edges as to not allow anything to spill out. And as you can see, the egg yolk is starting to solidify a little bit, and the white is starting to get cooking a little bit. It's going to be outlined in the discussion, but the white of the yolk is actually, initially, was like this clear albumin, but now it's the protein's starting to denature and it's starting to change shape, and now it's starting to get, a little bit white around the edges and changing shape. It's irreversible. It's an irreversible kind of thing, so it won't go back to normally what it was, and that evidences a chemical change. The egg yolk is starting to solidify a little bit. It's not as like bouncy as it was, and looking pretty good. Looking pretty good so far. It's been about a minute. We're gonna let it go for about another minute and see how it goes. See how it finishes up. I think the oil is also making it really heat up too. I took everything back in. It smells pretty good. That's nice. I'm gonna cut that out a little bit. Let that kind of go. Notice that also the oil is making it so it doesn't stick to the fan. Pretty nice. Smelling pretty good. My research assistant commented on it. Does it smell good?
Smells pretty good.
Smells pretty good. Looking pretty good. And so that's all fine and dandy, looks all good. Usually in my household, though, we scramble it. So, as far as the procedure goes, everything's all pretty much done. But we want to eat it, so I'm going to scramble it. And scrambling essentially, by providing kinetic energy to the reaction, it's basically just letting the contents of the egg cook more and change shape. Let those amino acids kind of break form again. So that's pretty good. And then essentially everything's all done. So what we'll do now is first of all, we'll turn down the heat. Turn it low, turn it off, because that's the hazard. And then we'll transfer the contents into our transfer plate. Looks good. That's all done. Okay. Next thing is to place solid waste, or first of all, pan into the dish rack, so we can clean that later. And take these solid materials, transfer them to the solid waste beaker over there, or bin, and dispose of them so that they're not any hazard to anybody that might trip and fall. Next, we take the black pepper, season that over the egg. Nice and good. I said I was going to put salt. I probably won't put salt. I'll leave this at black pepper, but it looks pretty good. And then that is our final product. All done. I also wanted to say that the last bit with the scrambled egg was a bit of just playful fun. The reaction really did end when the egg was fried, but that's more so just an optional thing.